Will the United States stay in NATO while you're in office?
In where?
NATO. Do you commit that the United States will remain a member of NATO while you're in office?
Again, they have to pay their bills. If they pay their bills, absolutely.
But not if they don't pay their bills.
But NATO's taken advantage of us because we were look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're doing if they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
absolutely.
Getting
If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're doing if they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
absolutely.
Start it up. You understand? Right. Trump, he's coming in right after. He put the spirit on them. He's controlling them. All right, so when he's making those statements, it sounds like, I mean, logically, that don't make no sense what you're saying, Trump. But it's because it's the Lord working through all of them to fulfill his will.
NATO is a child of the Cold War. When it was founded in 1949, there were 12 members. Today, the club has expanded to 30, 2 in North America, 28 in Europe. NATO is built around the principle of collective defense, which means an attack on one member is an attack on all of them. Their rival during the Cold War was the Warsaw Pact, a similar alliance led by the Soviet Union. 3 NATO members are also nuclear powers: the US, UK, and France. Together, NATO makes up around 57% of global military spending. The United States is the undeclared leader, providing 22% of the alliance's budget. NATO's power center is in Brussels. From its Cold War days, the NATO is programmed to target Russia. Today, it faces a new threat from further east, a belligerent China.
All right. So that's NATO in a nutshell. So let's go to this interview that Trump did when he was asked about remaining a member in NATO. All right.
Will the United States stay in NATO while you're in office?
In where?
NATO. Do you commit that the United States will remain a member of NATO while you're in office?
Again, they have to pay their bills. If they pay their bills, absolutely.
But not if they don't pay their bills.
But NATO's taken advantage of us because we were look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're doing if they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say, give me Daniel 4:17 real quick. Trump be acting a fool, man.
Do y'all see this?
Trump a gangster.
Yeah, but think about it, in the grand scheme of things. This is as great as America has been. All right, it's just like you're a championship team, right? That means now, instead of you hunting the championship, now you're the hunted, right?
Right. Yes.
And when you are hunting something, you're more hungry. You understand? You work hard. You think about every decision.
Right.
You're very careful. But once you continue to have that continued success, what starts to happen? Fatigue, negligence, and that's what you see with the United States of America, okay? But I want to show you this real quick to show you who's behind it. Daniel 4:17 real quick, please.
The book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Come on.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the Holy One.
Go ahead.
To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Right, the Most High, he ruleth in the kingdom of men. Come on.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
And when you think about it, excuse me, did that say basis?
It's on the bottom part of
It's on the bottom. Finish that for me. I'm sorry.
And setteth up over it the basis of men.
Right, that's the point I really wanted right there. So first and foremost, the Lord, he's navigating, he's working according to his will through man. That's number one. But he'll set up the basis. Now think about it in the whole grand scheme of things. Now Europe, I've been to Europe. It's different. It's like upper echelon stuff. Think about European cars like BMWs.
Right.
What else they got?
Audis. They
Audis,
got
Mercedes. Those are considered what? Top tier cars.
High-end,
Luxury compared to a Ford or Chevy. Which are American-made cars.
Right.
Think about it. I know even with the food quality, the food quality in Europe, it does not compare to America.
Yeah.
So Trump, he made the statement like, oh, they don't want to accept American products because why would they want to accept American products? Their products are top tier.
The hell is this?
All right, give me Obadiah 1 real quick as well. All right, Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. I want to touch this aspect of it as well. All right. Oh, Ezekiel 28:5 first, then Obadiah 1 and 3. All right, because this is how America came to who it is today, like the analogy I made with they were hunting the championship. They got there, okay? But now they're there, and they calling all of the shots, and they're forgetting a lot of things. All right, read this.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 5.
Come on.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Right, so that's how they increased their riches, by that great wisdom and that great traffic. Military advancements, with the weaponry, and by trade. That's their traffic. Go ahead.
And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
There it is. Now the heart is lifted up because of the riches. He can say, "Oh, we'll continue to keep NATO around as long as they pay up." You understand? Remember, it say that America is the undeclared world leader because they spend 22% of the world's dollars or currency or whatever it is, finances on military weapons. That's one country out of hundreds of countries. And they spend 22% when it comes to warfare. All right, read that again from the top.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Come on.
And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
Right, because of thy riches. Give me Jeremiah the 49th chapter before we get that Obadiah. All right, so it means what? When you start getting prideful, you start slipping, all right? Because your mind deceives you. Now you think you the stuff. You ain't thinking clearly, all right? Was that Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 16? Yep.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 16.
Watch this.
Thy terribleness hath deceived thee.
It says, thy terribleness has deceived thee, read.
And the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Right, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Who was that? Your friendly neighborhood white man. Esau, Edom. Come on.
That holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle.
As the eagle. Come on.
I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
There you go. So it's the Lord that has Biden in office right now, too. He's trying to start it up. You understand? Trump, he's coming in right after. He put the spirit on them. He's controlling them. All right, so when he's making those statements, it sounds like, logically, that don't make no sense what you're saying, Trump. But it's because it's the Lord working through all of them to fulfill his will. And this is his will right here, verse 17.
Yes, sir.
Verse 17. Also Edom shall be a desolation.
That's the will right there, that Edom, that Babylon gets destroyed. Go ahead.
Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Now let's get that Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. All right.
The book of Obadiah, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock.
Go ahead.
Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's what he's doing. That's an open challenge to who? That's an open challenge to God.
Right.
And God is going to answer the challenge. All praise to the Most High for that thing right there. God is going to answer the challenge. Read that part again.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Come on.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Read some more.
If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Will they not have stolen till they had enough?
Right. These are the greedy ones. They don't get it twisted. They've conquered all of these nations, stole and robbed all of the natural resources from them. Then they tax the nations. That's what you have to understand. When they have authority or rule of a nation, those nations are paying them taxes. Same thing with Europe. Think about the scramble for Africa. All of those African nations or countries, they were colonized by Europe and taxed. That's what they do. Read on.
If the grape gatherers came to thee, will they not leave some grapes?
Come on.
How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Verse 7 is the point.
All the men of thy confederacy.
It says, all the men of thy confederacy. So who are those men of the confederacy? We were just reading about them or watching them. It's NATO. These are all of the other Europeans who are from the same lineage. Just like you got Rockwallers, Chihuahuas, they all dogs.
Right.
All of them they all dogs too.
Right. Bring it up.
You understand? All of them are dogs. All of these Edomite nations, the European nations and America. Yeah. So it says, all the men of thy confederacy, read.
Have brought thee even to the border.
All right, have brought thee even to the border, read.
The men that were at peace with thee.
Right. The precept that with that Revelation 17. All right. This is what we do. We the watchmen of Israel. We got to watch and pray and warn the people of what's taking place on the earth. Right. Okay? Was that 17 and 11?
The book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 11. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seventh, and goeth into perdition.
So that beast, that eighth beast is America. Read some more.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest.
Right, those 10 horns, the 10 common markets. All right, no, going into NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is the same ones in Obadiah 1 and 7, which is of thy confederacy. These are the same people. All right, read some more.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet.
Come on.
But receive power as kings. 1 hour with the beast.
Right, so they get their power by America's power. So now let's go back to Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee.
See that? They were all on the same page. They agreed when the alliance was formed. All right, as one of us gets touched, all of us gets touched, and the leader will be the United States of America. So it says at one point they had peace. Read some more.
Have deceived thee.
Have done what?
Deceived thee.
Come on.
And prevailed against thee.
They
that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Come on.
There is none understanding in him.
So the Bible is letting us know that this so-called alliance is going to be disrupted. Right. Okay, we can see the way that Trump is moving. All right, he's definitely shaking things up. It could come through him. I think it will. You understand? If you ask me, but who knows? But that's where, as we see these things occur, we got to give the prophecy. We got to go over scripts.
That's right.
Read some more.
Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Read.
And thy mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed.
Come on.
To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Woo, that's some good stuff right there.
Good stuff.
Hey,
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord